On this week's episode of View the Right Thing, it's the true story of a tenacious legal assistant who becomes an unlikely hero. Erin Brokovich, a struggling single mother, lands a job at a law firm after persistently convincing her boss to hire her. Erin stumbles upon medical records in a real estate case, and her curiosity and determination lead her to uncover a massive cover-up involving contaminated water in a small California town, causing severe health issues for the local residents. Erin's relentless pursuit of justice and her ability to connect with the affected families drives the case forward. With the support of her firm, Erin helps build a case against an energy company that contaminated the wells. Wes and Alexis file a motion to proceed with their review of Erin Brokovich on View the Right Thing.
Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby to get ourselves a treat.
Hey, welcome back to another episode of View the Right Thing. I'm Wes. I'm just trying to throw her off every time now. It's View the Right Thing. That's what this is. How you doing?
I'm good.
Yeah?
Yeah.
That's good.
Mm-hmm.
I like your stripy sweater.
Thank you.
Is it a sweater or shirt?
It is a sweater.
It's a sweater.
Yes.
I can't tell looking at the screen.
It's knit. We've only been sitting next to each other for 2+ hours.
You weren't wearing that earlier, were you?
Absolutely was.
Did you have a jacket on, a cardigan? Nope. Nothing? Cool.
I didn't even have a blanket on me this time.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well.
It's okay. We were watching the movie.
It's about your presence for me. It's not about your wardrobe.
Thank you. So I can come in like pajamas. And it doesn't matter.
Yeah. I mean, you've seen I've worn pajama pants many times when we've done episodes, so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, we can wear whatever we want on the bottoms. No one's going to see us.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
That's true. We are not Donald Ducking it.
No. Mm-mm.
Yeah, okay. So things are going well, okay.
Things are going well.
Fair enough.
And you, I see you're wearing a Chicago Fire Department shirt.
Yes, we've talked about it several times on the show.
Yes.
I love Chicago Fire.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. This is a shirt actually bought at the firehouse at the Chicago Fire, that working firehouse.
That's so cool.
Yeah, I'm pretty happy with it. They had another shirt, though. I wish I'd gotten both shirts, but I didn't. Maybe I'll go back one day.
Yeah.
I might replace this at some point because, wear and tear.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
But the more cracked it is, the, more, I don't know, memories it holds. Right?
If you say so. It's like, we have these, season changes, and I'm, stuffed up. Yeah, in California.
They're so big.
That's why, I'm sorry, for those listening, I did air quotes for around seasonal changes.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it does change. The climate does change.
A bit.
It just doesn't change. The temperature doesn't drastically change the way it does in a lot of other places.
Right.
Although, interestingly, we do have 20, 30 degree shifts from day to night, which is extreme. Most places it's 10-ish.
Yeah.
In here, it's all of a sudden it's 30 degrees cooler than it was in the day. So you have to, in this time of year, you have to go places with a jacket in case you're gone long enough that it gets cold.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I love that it kind of hangs out in the 60s.
Yeah, but you're oh, it's 75 today, and then, at 7:30 p.m. it's 45. So ugh.
Yeah, that's a bit drastic.
Yeah. Yeah.
But hey, when I was in college, 40 degrees was flip-flop weather.
That's gross.
It was finally warm enough that I didn't hurt.
Flip-flop weather.
I did get a lot of colds in college.
I got a lot of colds. I got mild frostbite. I lost 3 toes. But it was great.
For the fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where'd you go to college? Can you say?
Rockford, Illinois.
Okay.
Went to Rockford University.
Go Rockford Rockhounds?
No, the Rockhounds.
Rockford Files?
Regents.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that a royal something?
It's a stupid name. But the mascot is a lion.
That can't. Okay. But what is a regent? Well, you know what? We have a new feature on the podcast.
What is a regent?
What's a regent? I feel like it's something royal, like a royal, like it's not a servant exactly, but like
a person who governs a kingdom in the minority, absence, or disability of the sovereign.
yeah, so like a governor of a territory. Yeah. So like they would like lords and stuff. They would have like the Lord Regent. Mm-hmm. They would have like here's your land that we've given to you now because we just have pillaged it from some other country.
I think it's like my son is technically the king now, but he's too young to rule, so I'm the queen regent.
So it's not the people ruling, that...
But I'm not technically the ruler.
So like the Starks in Game of Thrones wouldn't have been regents? They oversaw all of the North.
No, like Cersei would have been...
The queen regent?
Queen regent, when her son was too young to rule.
Gotcha. Interesting.
Nice.
Okay, thanks, Helper.
Yeah. Awesome.
I don't know how much they heard of that.
I hope
she was saying.
Hopeful.
I'm not. Yeah, so she said Cersei in Game of Thrones would have been the Queen Regent. Mm-hmm. We should make a habit of repeating what she says.
True.
Yeah. I should make a habit of looking at the computer monitor instead of you.
Me too.
We've only been doing this for months. Okay. All right. Any trailers we want to talk about?
Yeah.
What do you want to talk about?
We watched the trailer for The Electric State.
Yeah. With Millie Bobby Brown and Chris Pratt. Pratt.
Yep.
Not
Pratt. Different me.
It's so was it Stanley Tucci that was in that?
Yeah.
Yeah, I love Stanley Tucci.
It's a new Russo brothers movie.
Yeah.
They're the guys that did Stranger Things, yeah?
No, that's the Duffer Brothers.
See? Sweet.
Yeah. Yeah. I think the Machetes are also brothers.
I don't know what the Machetes are.
Muschietti, or I don't know how you say their name. They did the It movies.
The new
ones.
Oh, nope.
Me. Not to be mixed up with the Kyoto brothers, who did Killer Clowns from Outer Space.
Okay.
Not to be mixed up by the Wachowski sisters. Mm-hmm. Who else? What other brothers are out there? The Farrelly brothers, who did like Dumb and Dumber, and then
there's the guys,
the Coen brothers.
Oh, them as well.
Oh.
I was gonna say the guys. The younger brother was on Transparent.
Okay, I didn't watch Transparent.
Oh,
you got to help her though.
Do you know what I'm talking about? Transparent.
So Alexis has her phone out. Put your phone down. Have trust in the... No, you can't race her. Give her a job. Mark and his brother?
Yes.
Okay.
Mark and Jay.
I'm disappointed in you, Alexis. Because you didn't let our helper help.
I have a hard time.
You have to just let go. Let go and let Des. But the Russos, so would have been known for doing some work on Community, TV series Community, cool. But also probably more importantly to me would be movies like Captain America: Civil War, A Winter Soldier. They directed them, Infinity War and Endgame, and now they're coming back for the next Avengers films. Doomsday and Secret Wars.
Wow.
Yeah. Big fan of those guys. Big fan. I think they did The Gray Man too on Netflix. I think they made some deal with Netflix and have done a couple of 2 or 3 movies.
Okay.
Yeah. So
what did you think of The Electric State?
Look at it. It was like robots rose up and there was like people versus robot war, and then they banished the robots like to the other side of the wall to their state, the Electric State. Mm-hmm. And the main character, it seems like maybe is her brother had gone missing or died, and is maybe inhabited in this robot that she somehow finds. So I don't know. It looks very sweet and action packed, and yeah, I don't know. What do you think?
I don't really know what I thought.
Yeah, you didn't really react to it. You just sat there.
Yeah, I don't know what I was expecting, but that certainly wasn't it.
Yeah.
So maybe when they do some more trailers, maybe it'll be more palatable for me.
It comes out in a week.
Yeah.
From when this episode comes out.
I need to see more trailers.
I think the Russo brothers have earned the cred. You know, I think they've earned the trust. That's my take.
Cool.
I'm trying to think of a Russo brothers project that I was just like, nah.
You just love everything they've done.
I don't know if I know everything they've done, but the things I do know that they've done, I've liked. So
sweet.
Yeah. They keep working with those Marvel people. Marvel people want to work with them. Chris Pratt, I think Evans was the last movie they did.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I think that was The Gray Man.
Oh.
On Netflix.
Oh, okay.
It's like an action movie.
Yeah.
Maybe another one too. But yeah. And then we also we're going to talk about Superman.
Yeah.
Also directed by a Marvel director.
Really?
James Gunn did all of the Guardians of the Galaxy films.
Yeah. I didn't realize James Gunn directed Superman.
Okay. It says it in big blocky letters in the trailer. You don't pay attention to these things. You're like, superheroes, I'll half pay attention. Oh, here she goes. Coughing in the mic. Have you seen the original Christopher Reeve Superman movies?
Yes.
That wasn't convincing.
I've seen the first one.
But not the second one?
Correct.
I have the second one, the Donner cut. It's awesome.
The Donner cut?
Yeah, so Richard Donner directed the movies, and then there was a big disagreement after they'd shot the second film, and so they went back, they fired him, brought in a new director, and reshot a bunch of the scenes and edited it in a way that it was a different movie. And so, for years and years and years, this is where, the release the Snyder Cut comes from, is because there's a precedent for it, where for years and years and years, people were like, oh, I wish I could see the Donner Cut. I wish I could see the Donner Cut. And they finally released the Donner Cut. And it was a big success. And so now fans think they have the right to just demand anything they want. So, anyways.
Those darn fans.
But did you notice the font?
Yes.
On the work, it was very, very, very close to the font from the original Superman movie.
Mm-hmm.
Did you notice the music?
No.
They have it's basically a slowed down version of the original, John Williams theme.
Really?
Yeah, I think there's I think it's pieces of it are in there. I think there's some maybe new. It's a little hard to tell when it's slowed down so much. How much of that is you don't always necessarily notice the way music runs in a measure. Mm-hmm. And sometimes when you slow it down, you're like, that's how it goes. So, but yeah, I like the attention. What did you think of the trailer?
I thought it looked really good.
Yeah.
I was surprised to see Rachel Brosnahan.
Yeah, Lois Lane.
Because I think she's fantastic.
Yeah, she's great.
So, honestly, I thought that the man that they cast as Superman looks so much like one of the previous Supermans. Superman?
It's he's a combination of a bunch of David Cornsweet is his name.
Okay.
Corn. I think it's Cornsweet or Cornsweet or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he looks like an amalgamation of a whole bunch of them. So there's you can kind of see a little Christopher Reeve, you can kind of see a little Henry Cavill in there.
Yeah. I definitely thought it was Henry Cavill. And I'm like, how did you get so young again?
Yeah. Very different hair.
Yeah.
There's a natural curly hair thing going on, which is kind of cool.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm excited for it. I like Superman.
Yeah, me too. It's got Wendell Pierce in it, who you might recognize from The Wire. You'll recognize him when you see him. He's going to play Perry White.
Nice.
Nicholas Hoult.
Yeah.
Playing Lex Luthor.
I know.
Pretty
that
exciting.
Was a surprise.
Yeah. Nathan Fillion. Not surprised he's in it, but surprised at who he's playing.
Right.
So he's playing Guy Gardner, Green Lantern. There's a bunch. So they're there's all these like plans for what they're doing with the DC universe, and one of the plans is one of the follow-ups to this movie is going to be a Green Lantern TV series, I believe, on HBO Max, and that's going to have Nathan Fillion, Kyle Chandler, and I can't remember one more. There's one more Green Lantern, so they're kind of putting these 3 famous Green Lanterns in this show together.
Wait, they're all playing the Green Lantern?
There's been multiple Green Lanterns, like different. So there's lots of lanterns, right? So they're like a space corps.
Okay.
And they have these rings and stuff, and the rings allow them to like create whatever, like a hammer or whatever they need.
Do you think they'll bring Ryan Reynolds
as Green Lantern? I don't think so. I don't think Ryan Reynolds would want to do it. Is my guess. I think Ryan Reynolds would maybe be more interested if Disney and Warner Brothers allowed him to do it in Deadpool. I think he would do it then. But
that feels kind of lazy.
To put it in Deadpool?
Yeah.
Why?
To just keep doing Deadpool when he has more talent than just that one character.
Yeah, I'm saying like, putting the Green Lantern character in Deadpool. So he'd be his Green Lantern in Deadpool. Okay. I think he would be really interested.
Sorry, I understood it as like only if he can play Deadpool in.
No. But yeah, so that's part of the whole plan is to have that Green Lantern thing. So I'm hate the haircut for Guy Gardner, but it's comic accurate.
Oh, is it?
Yeah. So
Yeah, it's a haircut. It's a do. Maybe a don't, but
yeah. It's definitely a don't. The thing I'm most excited about with it is it feels like they're going back to, and I'm sorry I'm going to irritate all the Snyder fans, they're going back to the idea that Superman is a symbol of hope, which the Snyder movies just completely disregard altogether. And I want to see him be a Boy Scout. That's what I want. There's a really great shot in the movie where he like protects a kid from like an explosion, and I was like, this is Superman right here. This is what we're looking for. And then there's a shot where there's like a civil war or civil unrest going on, and a kid has a flag with the Superman logo, and he's like holding the flag up amidst all the chaos and stuff. And I was like, that's it. That's what people want. There's like somebody who needs Superman because they believe in hope. They believe in him. So, yeah. He's a hero for all people, not just, the United States or whatever. So,
oh yeah.
I've heard some people talking about how there's people think, oh, it's gone woke. Probably the Snyder fans. Oh, this Superman's gone woke. It's like, have you ever read Superman? Like, Superman's already woke, but
yeah. In what way are they saying he's gone woke?
This idea that like, he's supposed to be truth, justice, and the American way. That's
like, read the fucking old comics.
Well, and the thing is, that's not his motto anymore. It hasn't been his motto for a while.
Well, it was his original motto.
His old motto was truth, justice, and the American way.
Yeah.
But he's not just an American hero. He's a hero for the entire world. So they're changing it, which is great, because in the comic, it's not that anymore either. In the comic, it's truth, justice, and a better tomorrow.
Okay.
And that's the core idea of Superman. Hope.
Right.
Hope for the future. So I feel like they're going back towards that, and I really like it. And it's James Gunn. Anybody who's complaining about James Gunn, none of those people complain about Guardians of the Galaxy. Everybody loves Guardians of the Galaxy. And he's, kind of like the Russo brothers, has like earned the trust, I think.
Yeah.
He did a much better Suicide Squad movie. Peacemaker TV series was very good.
That show was so good.
Yeah. I mean, he's done his work. He's done his work.
I'm sorry. I love that show.
Yeah, it was great.
I watched it all the way through by accident. And I was like,
accident.
Hey, Jeff, let's watch this show. I'm sorry I watched all of it, but I'm happy to watch it again.
Was he like, oh?
He was like, what? But like, you were just gone for 2 days. And I'm like, I know. I'm so sorry.
Like the little opening, they do the little crab walk.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, are we going to get another one of those?
Yeah. Season 2's already being filmed. I think it might be done even.
Oh, thank goodness.
Yeah. There's a whole thing with like they're doing away with all of the old DC, like, you know, Henry Cavill and like Gal Gadot is not going to be Wonder Woman anymore. Sounds like, and so none of that is canon, but Peacemaker sort of is. So Peacemaker season 1 still exists, but basically, not all of it necessarily exists. So basically, the way James Gunn explains it is that if it's from now on, from Superman on, I think it's from Creature Commandos on, which is an animated series that's out now. If an event is mentioned, then it is canon. But if they don't talk about it from now on, then it's not canon. So if somebody talks about something that happened in Peacemaker season 1, then that event is canon. But if they don't, then you can assume that event never happened. Yeah. Pretty interesting. It's going to be very confusing. And then they have movies like The Batman, which there's a sequel being made for The Batman.
Right.
And that doesn't take place in the same universe. So that's also confusing. I think they're calling those Elseworlds.
Elseworlds.
Yeah, which is like a reference to old comics. Like, yeah.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, this idea that it's sort of like a multiverse, takes place in another world.
Nice.
Elseworlds.
Yeah. Elseworlds. I like that.
Yeah. And then maybe the most important thing that we haven't talked about with the Superman trailer, I think probably the most important outside of the Hope thing, Crypto the super dog.
Oh, yeah.
Very important.
Yes.
What a good boy or girl. I don't know what they're going to do.
Mm-hmm.
What gender the dog will be. Gender, sex. What sex that dog will be.
Good pet.
Yeah. Yeah.
Very strong.
Very well, super dog.
I've never heard of Crypto.
Yeah, I've seen some people being like, "Oh yeah, Crypto! I can't believe they're just selling out and making a dog." And it's like, yeah, Crypto's been around since like the '60s or something. like Crypto's been around a long time, or '50s.
Who has time to look up the answer?
Yeah,
it takes like so long.
It did take. So I think Crypto's been around since like the '50s, like 55 or something.
55.
Ha,
Wow.
55.
Nice.
So it took 20 years for Crypto to show up, but still. Been around a long time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
Now, will Clark encounter pink kryptonite? Probably not. They don't have the guts for that.
What is pink kryptonite?
Turns him gay.
Seriously?
Yeah. Can you imagine how the anti-woke mob will be if they have pink kryptonite? I mean, they don't outright say he's gay, but he becomes effeminate, and he begins he wants to hang out with Jimmy Olsen a lot, and I think he has a fascination with drapes and the things that they thought stereotypes that they made about gay people of the era. So,
when did this pink kryptonite come into play?
Helper.
Right now. Because, excuse me.
We're going through it with the allergies.
Yeah, it's strong today. The color pink wasn't. It used to be a male color.
We went over this in a previous podcast.
We did.
Yeah.
So I don't know. That just drives me crazy. Where they're like, "Oh no, it's pink."
I'm gonna guess the '80s.
I'm trying to find it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna guess the '80s. I think the last kryptonite color to be introduced was like a iridescent, like a pearlescent. You know how a pearl has lots of colors in it. I think that was the last one, and I don't remember what it did anymore. Red makes him bad.
Oh. It's a shame that red didn't make him super loving.
Yeah, no, it just turned him into a jerk.
Is the regular kryptonite, is that blue or green?
Green.
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 Okay.
Yeah.
Is there a blue kryptonite?
Yeah, I don't know what it does off the top of my head. If our helper would,
its first appearance was in 2003.
Pink was not till 2003. No fucking way! It was 2003. We were too progressive for that to be 2003.
Wow,
that's offensive. Okay, I was going to give it a pass for it being the 80s, but 2003 maybe not.
Yeah, that was 21 years ago.
Yeah, not okay. No. Okay, what does blue kryptonite do?
See,
She got the kryptonite list up. And if there's any fun ones, you can feel free.
1960. Imperfect product of green subjected to Professor Dalton's duplicator ray. Loss of superpowers on Smallville.
Loss of superpowers.
Counteracts red on Super Friends.
Counteracts red on Super Friends.
Perfect health for Earthlings.
Perfect health for Earthlings.
So it heals people. It heals Earthlings.
But not so great for
Kryptonians.
Yeah,
but it sounds like green. Green takes away their powers too. Actually, I'm not sure green takes away their powers. It just makes them really weak.
It says, oh wait, one. That's right. There's
DC Super Friends.
There's so many colors.
Feel free to correct us on that. But I feel like green just makes them weak. Like he technically
says loss of superpowers under green.
Oh, really?
Green. Severe intensifying pain.
Wait, are there any fun ones in there besides pink?
Let me see.
Also, the rainbow one, the iridescent pearlescent one, that was, I think, it should be near the end.
Okay, let me see.
I forgot what it does.
So many choices.
So many kryptonites. Maybe it's just kryptonite without an S.
Oh.
Like deer. You don't say deers. So kryptonite.
Yes.
So many kryptonite.
Or moose. Moose is moose.
Yeah. Kryptonite's a real element.
Yeah.
I don't know anything about it. I just know it's a real element. Scientists, tell us.
What?
Do we have any smart listeners out there?
I could ask my dad.
Is he a scientist?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah. What was the last one? What was the last one introduced? Oh, when was that?
2020.
No, before that, maybe.
Yellow in 2017.
Uh-huh.
Periwinkle in 2013.
Periwinkle in 2013.
What?
Pink in 2003.
Oh, really?
Huh.
No, I
There's
could
like a gray, maybe?
No, I could have sworn there was like one that I have it somewhere. I have the issue somewhere. Cryptisium.
X.
What year was that?
94.
No, it wouldn't have been then.
There's crimson with a
No, don't worry about it. It's fine.
Kryptonite is not a real substance.
It's not a real substance.
It's not a real substance.
What is the symbol on the periodic? Isn't there like a kryptonite?
Real kryptonite is sodium lithium boron silicate hydroxide.
I thought there was like something on the elemental
No.
periodic
But
table
mineral
of elements.
discovered in Serbia in 2007 has a similar chemical composition. But unfortunately, kryptonite is not real. Unfortunately, I'm so sorry.
The world is shattered.
Fortunately, that you don't have a kryptonite, so you're good.
My kryptonite is being wrong.
Your kryptonite is being wrong.
Yeah.
How dare you be wrong?
Yeah, it happens.
It's unacceptable.
Well, all right. Okay, well let's talk about our movie that we're here for. What did we watch, Alexis?
We watched Erin Brokovich.
Yeah.
You want to know what it's about?
Yeah, why not?
Here's what IMDb has to say. A flamboyant law firm secretary. Was she really a secretary?
Yeah. Well, she was an assistant. I mean, she was doing filing and stuff.
A flamboyant law firm secretary works tirelessly to gain justice for a small town wrecked by a utility company's pollution.
True.
It was true.
And we don't call them secretaries anymore, so it doesn't matter.
Oh, okay. She just seemed like an assistant.
Administrative assistant is what we call them.
Right.
Yeah.
I feel like the one at the front desk was the secretary.
No, she would have.
She would have been the.
I think she would just be an administrative assistant.
Okay.
I think that's just. I don't think secretaries like. Not that it's not PC. I just don't think we. I think there's like this connotation that secretaries are women, and so I think they tried to make it a little bit more gender neutral.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's like a flight attendant.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah,
nice.
So this film, directed by Steven Soderbergh, director I love, nominated for 5 Oscars. It was nominated for Screenplay, Actor, Director, Picture. It won Best Actress. Soderbergh was also nominated for Traffic, and it's one of the few times, like a handful of times, that a director has been nominated for 2 movies in one year.
Those came out the same year?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
For her performance in this film, Julia Roberts became the first actress to simultaneously win the Best Actress Award at the Academy Awards, the Screen Actors Guild Awards, the BAFTA Awards, the Critics' Choice Awards, and the Golden Globe Awards.
Wow.
She swept them.
Well, yeah.
And the real Erin Brockovich claimed that this movie is like 98 to 99% accurate.
Yeah.
So, and Julia Roberts made a shitload of money. She was the first woman to break the $20 million barrier for a role.
Wow.
Yeah.
Dang.
Damn.
That's incredible.
Yeah, good for her.
She did an amazing job.
Do they still pay people that much money to be in movies? That's crazy.
But you have to be a big name.
I feel like nowadays, I thought maybe we got away from that.
I have no idea.
Let's get away from it.
I have not had the privilege yet to have such a hefty image.
It just feels like I feel like a lot of like real actors care a lot more about getting the thing made than, I mean, they want their money, but 20 million is a bit excessive.
Well, I mean, if you make 20 million, you're actually making 10.
Yeah, but still, I mean, 10 million is excessive too.
Sure.
I personally think it's excessive.
It's a lot.
It's a lot.
But if you're only doing like one film every so many years.
Yeah, but you could, if you made a movie every 3 years and you made $500,000, you could survive off of $500,000 for 3 years easily.
Yeah.
Not in a giant mansion, maybe.
Right. But is this before you pay your agents and your manager?
No, I'm saying post. I'm saying after, because you're saying 10 million. You're saying 10 million based off of having to pay all those people. So I'm saying 500,000 after paying all those people. So you get $1 million. Like,
okay,
that's so. I mean, 1/20th of that, right? Like it's totally doable.
Right.
Like, I mean, what would you need to live comfortably? And if you're making one movie every 3 years,
I have no idea.
I mean, let's just say, easily, maybe a little more than in LA, a little more than $100,000 a year probably would keep you a single person. Probably.
I feel like in LA, that is still not a lot of money. For
over $100,000.
Yeah,
you
apparently, like, not saying. Oh, so sorry. Not saying like I don't make anywhere near that, but according to like higher, middle, and lower class, it's on the lower end.
What percentage of your salary is supposed to be your rent?
I have no idea.
1/3.
1/3? Yeah, right. So if you were making like 100 and so if we said $500,000 every what did I say, every 3 years? Yeah. So it's more than $175,000, right? So what's a third of that? Helper.
What's a third of $157,000?
I was like, I don't know if we're gonna have anything for her to look up.
We do.
51,000.
51,000. So divide that by 12.
4,000.
So $4,000 a month in rent. That's a comfortable apartment easily, or a house payment, right? You can have house payments for sure. It's one of the things that they're like, hey, if you're paying rent, you might as well pay housing payment.
Yeah.
At least what the banks say. Yeah, totally. You can make a monthly house payment for $4,000 a month.
Okay. Never owned a house, so.
Yeah, but yeah. So I feel like I'm making $1 million every 3 years and be pretty comfortable in LA. You don't have to have a $4,000 house,
right?
Or apartment. You could have. There's plenty of apartments that are like $2,500.
Those are small.
No, 2 bedrooms.
Really?
They're cheap now. apartment prices are going down.
Are they really?
Yeah.
Wow, I'm shocked.
Yeah.
I know of a place that's a 2-bed. I think it's a 1-bath. There's no central air, and it's already around like 4,500.
Well, I mean, I think
And there's no parking.
it depends on the neighborhoods too. But like, I've been seeing a lot. For some reason, I don't know how. I don't know why. I didn't ask for this, but I am somehow on some sort of real estate TikTok algorithm, and I'm getting apartment like ads where it's like a little like flyby in the apartment, and then at the end they always tell you, or in the comments they tell you how much they are, and they're significantly cheaper than I expected. Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
I'm shocked. I see all the ones that are really expensive.
Well, that's your algorithm right there.
I didn't ask for it.
I'm just saying you're bougie.
It's hard to not. I like nice things.
Who doesn't like nice things?
Dream, can't she?
Freaking hippies, they don't like nice things.
What? I'm a flower child.
You're not a. What do you mean you're a flower child?
What do you mean?
No, what do you mean you're a flower child?
I'm a tree hugger.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
All right.
I like the environment.
I'm not gonna challenge you on this.
Okay.
All right. Anyways, what kind of notes you got? Yeah, I hear a rumor that you took very few notes.
I didn't take a lot, but I remember.
Okay.
I remember the movie.
That's good.
Yeah. I love how at the very beginning she lists out her skills exactly in the way that we will see throughout the film.
Yeah. Yeah.
To this schmuck of a doctor.
Oh, I mean,
you know,
she had no actual experience, and she was like, it sort of seemed like she was applying to be a nurse.
Yeah.
She had no nursing degree. Mm-hmm. He's not that much of a schmuck for not hiring her.
Yeah.
I wouldn't hire her if I needed a nurse.
True.
I want somebody with a nursing degree.
Yeah. She's like, I know how to. I've seen them take the cultures. You just stick a swab down their throat and let it hang out for a while.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, not letting her draw any blood.
No. Mm-mm. But I liked that, how she just goes out and says, these are the things that I'm really qualified. I'm a fast learner. I do this, 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 and this.
Mm-hmm.
And since I've seen this movie before, I was kind of like, oh, that's exactly what she does.
Mm-hmm.
She is really great with people.
Yeah.
It was pretty cool.
Yeah.
I appreciated that writing.
And then she goes out and gets her car hit.
She has a ticket on her car.
Yeah, that day. Didn't get the job.
Sideswipe. Well, not even sideswipe. She gets rammed into.
T-boned. Yeah, she gets T-boned.
And it still doesn't work out in her favor because she's a single mom who has been divorced twice.
Yeah.
And she has a foul mouth.
Yeah. Well, that doesn't help you in court.
Stupid. Who cares how someone talks?
Why
decorum. Does that... Pardon?
Have some decorum is all I'm saying.
I'm sure, but she was beside herself.
Yeah.
And that doctor who ran into her...
Yeah, he was a bad guy.
He was a bad guy.
Yeah.
I have been a juror when there was the defendant was a lawyer.
Oh.
And so he was like, how could I have done that? Blah, 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 blah. And we all saw through his bullshit. He was just trying to seem cool and seem like he knew so much more than the other people.
Yeah.
Than his...
Did he represent himself?
Yes.
Yeah, what a schmuck. That's a schmuck.
Cocky asshole.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, we all saw through his bullshit. We're like, no, you have to pay.
Yeah.
I
was gonna say the car crash, because it's like one shot basically.
Yeah.
So they took a digital composite of Julia Roberts getting into the car, and then they used a remote or like a radio control. Remote control. I guess that's remote control. Yeah. A radio controlled car. And then the car that hits it is a stunt driver.
Wow.
Yeah. So there's not actually,
Good. Yeah. There's not actually someone...
getting hurt.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, the stunt driver may have gotten injured.
Yeah.
In some small capacity, but that's kind of what they do.
Yeah. They live for the danger.
I didn't realize that she met Ed as her lawyer for that case.
Oh, yeah.
It was 24 years ago that movie came out.
Yeah.
And I can't say that I've watched it a bunch of times because it's a heavy film.
Sure.
But I didn't remember that. And I found that intriguing.
Yeah. Albert Finney.
This is our second Albert Finney movie that we've watched together.
Our second. Yeah, our second.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to think if there's not another one on the podcast at all. Just Scrooge and this, I think.
Yeah.
We haven't done Big Fish.
Oh, such a good movie. Is that in the bucket?
No.
I'm adding that to the list.
We never put your list in the bucket. You realize that, right?
We need to. I know we don't.
When it's big enough, we'll put it in there. When the list is long enough.
Okay.
If we stop having these themed months one of these days. Heads up, folks.
Okay.
Heads up, folks. Next month, themed month.
Oh, yeah. Tell them what the theme is.
No.
Okay.
Yeah, no, it's fine. Yeah, no, I'm just joking with you. It's baseball. April's going to be baseball month. And a stupid number of guests.
So many
guests. How you doing over there? What you up to? You're adding it on the list.
I was, and then my notes just disappeared. So I'm
all the notes are gone.
Figuring it out.
Did you shake it so that way?
No.
You shake it and
there we go.
Undo.
Found it.
You didn't delete it.
Nope.
Okay. Thought maybe you deleted all your notes.
That's okay.
Okay. What's your next note?
Her poor baby. There was a moment where she's holding her little daughter, and she just starts crying. And so Julia Roberts is dealing with this crying baby, and she tries to fill up the pot of water, and then gets upset and throws the pot of water down, and she cries even more. I'm like, this poor child is being traumatized on set, and it's all just for the love of the performance. But I thought it was kind of sad, but also well done.
Yeah.
Like, Julia did a really great job of not freaking out holding a child, which is great.
It's interesting seeing Julia Roberts because you don't see her anymore, really. She doesn't really, it doesn't work that much, I think, by choice. I don't think it's like nobody wants to work with you. And having not seen her in so long, the whole movie I was like, she's gorgeous.
She is.
I mean, yeah.
Isn't she just in something, though?
Yeah, but she hardly works. I mean, I think she does. Yeah, she did that movie, that End of the World movie on Netflix.
Leave the World Behind?
Sure.
Yeah.
But generally speaking, I think she's like really choosy about what she does now.
Yeah, it seems to be like 3 or 4 a year, and then she'll take a 2-year break.
This is what I'm talking about. Make $20 million. You can take all the breaks you want.
Yep. Huh. Oh.
And that was like $20 million 20 years ago.
Yeah, that was a lot.
Yeah.
I was fully expecting this part to happen, but when she lies to her kids about eating a big meal,
and
just doesn't eat, just orders a coffee because that's really all she can afford since the kids got.
It's interesting because you see people on TikTok kind of doing that.
What do you mean?
I don't know if they're doing it for clout or what, but there's people who do that now on TikTok that are sort of like showing like, this is what a daily life is like, and this is kind of how we make ends meet. And sometimes like if we go out, then I make sure the kids eat, but I don't.
Yeah.
Kind of a thing.
I have not seen any of that.
Yeah, well, there was a whole, I won't get into it. There was a whole thing where somebody was maybe not treating their kid very well. CPS got called. Yes,
I feel like we talked about this last week off the camera.
Yeah.
Off the microphone.
So they go to the restaurant. Mm-hmm. That waitress.
Yes.
The real Erin Brokovich.
Really?
Yep.
Interesting. I didn't realize that.
Yep.
Shoot. Oh.
So it's kind of nice. They not only was she in the movie, but she was in a scene that was singularly about the sacrifice that she's making for her children.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just nice.
Yeah.
What else you got there?
I love that she just, when she was trying to get Ed's attention, trying to get him to call her back, and since he wouldn't call her back, she's like, fuck it, I'm just gonna work here.
Yeah.
And she just walked in and said she had a job.
Yeah, that she just was like doing the work. Oh yeah, I'm the new whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, good for her.
Good for her. You know, she had to do what she had to do. And
you know, nowadays people would like call the police.
Yeah.
So
I know. And how odd it was when she's like, oh, I need to talk to somebody about an advance on my check, blah, blah, blah. And he's like, Ed is so wealthy. Like, the disparity between them is just, like, cavernous. And he's like, oh, I only have hundreds.
Yeah.
Well, what a bummer. Here, take my 100.
Yeah.
Because this was in the 80s, and walking around with hundos.
1990, I think. But yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought it was...
Pretty sure it's 1990. There's a Jurassic Park poster on the wall.
Oh, okay. Okay. Well, even so, walking around with hundos in your wallet in the 90s was even still a lot of money.
Yeah. I mean, now.
I feel like now.
Yeah. I feel very grateful $500 bill on my money clip.
But I am glad that he did that. Like, he wasn't a bad person.
No.
He was just kind of in his own...
Yeah.
in his own world.
Yeah.
As most people are.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I wrote George, her neighbor.
Yeah.
I wrote, he is a genuinely good guy. So
yeah. Yeah.
In quotes, I was like, so it seems. Or parentheses.
Yeah, so George, I believe is Jorge in real life.
Oh.
They did break up.
Mm-hmm.
He was hired as a full-time live-in nanny for her children for several years.
Oh.
And the law firm paid for it. So she could devote more time to her work. However...
Wait, what? Okay, go ahead.
What was the question?
So they weren't romantically involved?
No, they were. And then after they broke up, he continued to help out. And so they hired him as the nanny.
Okay.
But I'm unclear how this worked because my understanding was it was her first husband, but I also have a note here that says it was George, the biker character. It might have been her first husband and George the biker, along with their attorney, tried to blackmail her after the movie had come out. It was like the movie made, I think it cost like $50 million. Think about that. The movie like cost $50 million and 20 of it. Yeah. So the movie's a big hit. Mm-hmm. And so they're like, oh, we're going to blackmail her and shake her down for money. And we're going to say she's this bad parent and all this stuff. And they recorded, she called the police. They recorded the shakedown threats over the phone. And they...
Erin did?
No. What?
Who recorded the
police?
Threats? Oh, okay, thank you.
Yeah. And at least the attorney that was working with them went to prison.
Good.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think she made a ton of money on this. The actual Erin Brokovich. Julie Roberts made a shitload of money. Yeah. Julie Roberts made $20 million on this. Erin Brokovich made like $100,000.
They bought her story.
They bought her story for $100,000.
Yeah.
So, man.
I mean, did she, judging by the outcome from all of this, she was already good.
Yeah, I mean.
She was already set.
Yeah.
Why are they now coming for her?
Yeah.
Or, 25 years ago, 24.
Yeah, I don't know. People crazy. Maybe they didn't realize how much she was making at the law firm.
Oh, maybe. And that was like, oh, hey, she really got a lot of money.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't know if that's exaggerated at the end of the film too. Her fee, her bonus. I don't know. She said they say that it's 98% accurate. So
her bonus was 2,500 or 25.
Her bonus was 25.
No, her bonus was
so it was $1 million.
The bonus in the
It was
$2 million.
Her bonus at the end of the film is $2 million. Yeah.
Oh, she really did get $2 million. Good.
For her.
She should have. She worked her ass off.
Every time we do this podcast, we have a garbage truck out there. But they don't hear it. I don't ever hear it in the podcast when I check.
You guys can't hear it, but it is loud.
There
You
is
have headphones on,
a garbage truck
a closed window, curtains in front of that.
There's a garbage truck just banging into vehicles out there.
Oh no, my God.
Yeah. All right, what else you got?
There's a point where it seems like Erin is treating George the way people treat her based off of his looks.
Yeah, for sure.
And I found it intriguing.
Yeah.
How, she gets upset that people treat her a certain way based off of her looks, and then she's doing that to George.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I just marked that as...
He also was like being an annoyance though at night, and her kids were trying to sleep. You know what I mean? Like I think you're right. I think there's a piece of that where she's like a biker guy, but also he was being a dick. Like she goes out and she's like angry with him, and it sets them off on the wrong foot from the beginning.
Yes,
because he's doing that motorcycle outside.
Well, this was after he had already watched her kids.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, like, I think, like, from the beginning, she judged him partially based off... I think you're right that she does judge him based off how he looks, but I think a bigger piece of that is probably the fact that how she met him was he was being a dick, and her kids were trying to sleep.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. I don't know if you caught this, but it's so quick. When Erin asks to...
George?
Huh?
George? Erin, the main character.
Yes. Erin Brokovich.
The one we're talking about. Sorry, we're talking about George, and he's played by Aaron Eckhart.
Oh! Yes. Sorry. Erin.
My apologies.
Not Aaron.
Okay. Erin.
Erin is... Oh my gosh. Sorry.
My bad.
When Erin asks to do research,
uh-huh.
She walks in and Ed is on the phone with someone who's trying on clothing, and he asks her to bring the phone into the dressing room and talks about, like, don't be such a tease. It's like so
yeah, I
so
did catch it. Yeah,
never caught that before. I'm like, does he really get any work done? He's on the phone. It's seemingly with his wife.
Yeah,
or some.
He's married. He says so. I'm married.
Yeah.
Because she's like, you don't have sex. And
right.
He's like, I'm married.
Which doesn't mean anything.
No, but I think there is, like, I think it's nice that they didn't just paint him as this, like, fuddy-duddy,
Mm-hmm.
There's enough hints in there.
Enough hints?
That he's not a fuddy-duddy, that
yes.
he's promiscuous.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I just had to mention that because it's like teeny tiny, but I was like, oh.
That's a good catch.
The way Marg Helgenberger's character just flippantly mentions chromium.
Yeah.
And I love how they tell us, like, I think it's like the next scene, they tell us about the different types of chromium and how, and their horrifying possibilities.
Yeah.
And the fact that PG&E went to all of these homes and was like, this chromium is good chromium. It's good for you.
It kind of makes you healthy, yeah. Yeah. And it, to your point, they set up the bad chromium stuff when she's talking to the guy at the university. Mm-hmm. And then when she finds the paperwork at the water what do they call that?
The water treatment facility?
The water bureau or whatever.
Yeah, the water bureau.
And you see it, and then you read it. Because they set that up, when you read it, it's just like, son of a bitch.
Yeah. Hexavalent chromium.
Yeah. Yeah. Was that your last note?
No.
She put her phone down. I was worried.
No. I'm engaging.
How dare you?
The ways in which Erin collected water samples.
Yeah. Bold.
She took a lot of chances. She herself could have gotten sick.
Well, I'm glad you said that.
Oh my God.
Erin did get sick. And they actually had a scene in the movie, and I think they sort of alluded to it when she was sick.
When she like had the cold?
Yeah, I think that was like maybe going to be the beginning of that, and they actually shot a scene where she's in the hospital, and Ed comes to visit her in the hospital. But they took it out of the movie because they didn't want audiences to start jumping to conclusions about what kind of movie this was, because they were worried that people were going to like think that this was a whole thing about how she gets sick and she's going to die or whatever. So
it's not about her.
It's not about her. I mean, it is about her, but it's
named after her. But
yeah,
it's really about the people. Of
the people, sure. So they ended up cutting out of the movie because it just didn't do justice to what they were trying to do.
Wow, but
she did get sick
in real life. She got sick.
Yeah.
Do we know what happened? Like, did she just catch a cold, or did she actually get
help her?
Like, I was trying to look
something.
Let me see if I have anything here. The Hinkley toxins made the real Brokovich sick. Soderbergh filmed the scene in the hospital. Cut it. Didn't want people to think she was going to. Erin really did get sick and was hospitalized for a while.
Oh wow!
Yeah, that's all I have.
I mean, she's very lucky.
Yeah.
That worse didn't happen.
Yeah. Well, and she's like, I know they had, you made a point of saying that they had those water cooler jugs at those houses,
right? But
like she's still like when they're like, oh, I made a bundt cake, or I made coffee, and I'm going,
did you use the
yeah.
Yeah.
I'm worried about that.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I don't. Yeah. Maybe just exposure to the town. Being there so much.
Well,
in so many homes, and
when she was visiting the farmer,
mm-hmm.
the dairy farmer,
mm-hmm.
and he's spraying the cows down,
and she's like, yeah, her open-toed shoes.
Yeah.
Well, I also thought about too when they're like she's in that town a lot for years.
Yeah.
And besides just like people feeding her and stuff in their homes, mm-hmm. She stayed in motels and stuff. And when she's at somebody's house that's sick, she has to go to the bathroom. Does she wash her hands with the water from the tap? So yeah, so those are the things I sort of think about and wonder, like maybe.
And I wonder if hexavalent chromium has a reaction, kind of like radioactive. Does it have properties in which, if you're near it, like not necessarily ingesting it, if you're near it, it has negative.
Don't know.
Properties.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, like the farmer was talking about how the family would get rashes. I don't know if that was because they were coming into contact with it or if they were ingesting it and that's just how their bodies reacted to it. I don't know. Scientists, let us know.
Scientists. It's just like really shocking. It's just so shocking.
Yeah, it really is.
I said yesterday, it is so hard to be a good person and swallow the fact that everyone in the world is not inherently good.
Yeah.
And they don't have other people's backs.
Yeah.
It's really, it's a hard pill to swallow.
Yeah, I agree.
I just had to say that.
Yeah.
The phone call between Erin and George when she's driving home from.
She's tired.
She's tired. She's like, talk to me. I need to stay up. And he tells her the story of Beth's first word.
Yeah.
Which was ball. And her reaction was just so beautiful.
And heartbreaking.
Yes. And heartbreaking. And it's, she was doing all of this for her children.
Yeah.
And the fact that she had to sacrifice so much for this, it was just heartbreaking.
Yeah.
To see, and a lot of people have to make a lot of sacrifices and miss those big special moments in life.
Mm-hmm.
But at least it was experienced by someone who also cared about the children.
Yes.
It wasn't just some like schmo, like, oh, your kid said something.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh.
I only have like one more note, so I'm just like I'm just
some more.
Relying on your notes here. Oh well, since it sounds like we're more than halfway through the movie.
Yeah.
So they get the file with the judge. They file the complaint initially. There's like 84 complaints or whatever, right? The judge's name really was Leroy A. Simmons, as you see on the thing. And I bring that up because he is played by Judge Leroy A. Simmons, and he repeated his decision for the actors in that scene.
Wait, it's the real judge?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's pretty great, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's my list now.
Oh, no way. I have more.
I do actually have one more note, but
so they have this cookout, this barbecue.
Yeah.
And there's this guy who asks for Erin's number.
Yeah, the creepy guy you think is trying to murder her.
I was like, I wrote, he must be a PG&E plant.
Yeah.
I thought that he was like planted there to like find something out about her.
Is he the guy that's calling her in the middle of the night? Yeah.
Well, was this before the call?
This was after the barbecue's after the call.
Right. And I love when she goes back to that water.
Tell Scott, give Scott what for.
Yeah. She's like, no one calls me by my maiden name. I know that was you.
How do you sleep
at night?
Yeah.
Shit.
Yeah. Busted Scott.
Right?
Freaking
like,
Scott.
The fact when he asks her to leave, she's like, no. It's all public record.
Yeah.
Why would she have to leave?
Yeah.
You know, if she were a more timid person, she probably would have been like, oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll leave.
Yeah. This was not the type of woman to apologize.
No.
I guess sort of that's the point at the end of the movie too, right? If this is your way to apologizing, you suck.
I know. So shortly after that cookout, the barbecue, they had 411 plaintiffs.
Yeah.
That's a huge amount of people.
Yeah. And
they had to, they ended up needing to have 90% of the plaintiffs.
Well, it went up to 600 634, something like that.
An astronomical amount.
Yeah.
The amount of dedication that took.
Yeah.
To continue to drive out to this place out in the desert.
And get them all to sign. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And she remembered everything.
Yeah.
That's incredible. And I feel like people who can remember that much information in detail, it's dwindling now. Because honestly, on the drive over here, I was listening to the radio and they said that people's memories are being affected by the internet, because why would they need to remember something if they can just grab their phone and look it up immediately?
Yeah. Yeah, it's true.
I mean, I can't even remember my mom's cell phone number.
Yeah.
She's had it for 15 years, but I remember her old cell phone number.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, before the internet got big, I could remember all of those things.
I'm trying to think anybody out of the immediate household whose phone number I remember. Chris, friend of the podcast, Chris. I know his phone number.
You do?
Yeah. That's probably the only one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember my friends' home phone numbers from high school.
All right.
Yeah.
I remember my phone number when I was in high school, junior high and high school.
Yeah.
But because I had my own phone.
You had your own phone? Wow.
Yeah. It spelled something. So.
Oh, fun.
Yeah. So when people would say, "What's your number?" I'd be like, "Oh yeah."
This thing, is it the same number?
What?
Is your current number the same
number?
No. Oh, okay.
No. And I'm not going to say it because
that's fine.
Somebody has that number now.
867-53.
It literally started with 867.
No way.
Wait, 876.
Oh, okay.
It was 876. But that was really, I was like, whoa.
Wouldn't that have been quite a thing?
If you'd said what it spelled out too, I would have been blown out of the water.
Oh man. Wait, what are the letters?
I talk to people. Well, it's not that part. It's just the last four. But I talk to people now every once in a while from high school, and they go, you remember your phone number was this? And I was like, yeah, I remember my phone number was that. But everybody remembers it for some reason. It's weird.
Was it 876 Frog?
It was not. 876 Frog. It was not.
Oh my gosh. Okay, let's get back to a note here. Okay, so this is like jumping far ahead.
Okay.
When her son is reading one of the plaintiff's pages, and of course he responds exactly like her. I'll be there in a minute.
Yeah.
And he goes, "This girl's the same age as me." I start weeping. Of course. He's like, why can't her own mom help her?
And he kind of says it kind of like,
yeah,
I'm sick of you doing this.
And then she responds, and it's like he finally understands that she's doing this work for good. And it's not like that she doesn't love him, that she doesn't like...
Well, it's real now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Yeah.
That just broke my heart.
Yeah. I tried to look up to see if, like, I was like, I wonder if any of these kids grew up and did, like, went on to become famous. Like, am I looking at a famous kid right now?
Oh.
Not really.
No.
Yeah, Belle pretty much stopped acting after a while.
Also, being a child actor is hard. It's a different
thing. I think the kid that played her son, like, did another maybe almost 10 years, 7 years.
Yeah.
And then stopped.
Yeah. That's fair.
Yeah, whatever.
Okay. Back to that creepy guy from the barbecue.
Yeah.
He pops back up again at that bar.
Yeah, well, he pops up at the town hall and then pops up at the bar.
I forgot about but I didn't see him at the town hall. I was probably making a note.
He turns around and he's looking at her. He looks over his shoulder at her and she notices him because she's in the back of the room.
I was taking a note. I completely missed that.
Freaking notes, I tell you.
I know.
Yeah.
And I wrote, that creepy guy from the barbecue is back. Wait. He's not a creep.
Yeah, it's weird. I think he is.
But he's not, like, going to murder her.
No, but I think he's being unwanted. I think his advances are genuine advances at her. And I think he, in order to spend time with her, offers her this thing. Which is why, like, Ed is like, be real careful about this, don't spook him.
Right.
And she plays along with it.
The fact that he was the person who had been put in charge of destroying incriminating evidence for PG&E.
Yeah.
And the fact that he didn't.
Yeah.
Like, he destroyed some of it, but he was smart enough to read the pages that he was shredding.
Yeah.
Like, he wasn't just some, like, follow the rules, shred the paper.
Yeah.
Done. I love that. The fact that actually happened. Did that actually happen?
I assume. If 98% of this is true, then I assume that must have.
If not for him, they would have had zero case.
They
needed to have tangible evidence that San Francisco PG&E knew about what was going on.
They would have had a case and would have still settled. They probably wouldn't have gotten as much.
Yeah.
Because they had enough of a case that would make PG&E not want to go to trial.
Oh, right.
So that's why they got so much money. It does remind me, he was talking about, where she says that he was the guy who had to, like, wait around in those pools. Because Ed's like, oh, why is this guy helping? She's like, well, his cousin or whatever, brother died. Yeah. And then he was the guy that had to, like, wait around and clean those pools or whatever. And it reminds me, there are a lot of true stories like that, but there's one in a book that I read, I think it was called Fast Food Nation. No. Something like that. And there's chapters on meat packing plants and stuff. And there's one plant that, they had a guy who they, asked him to clean one of these vats, like on a weekend, like come in on a weekend and clean a vat. And so he had to, like, climb into it and clean it with, like, industrial solvents.
Oh.
And all they gave him was, like, a paper mask and it disintegrated, and it like scarred his lungs and stuff, and he had all these problems.
Yeah.
And this guy like continued to do things, and the place like convinced, like the plant wanted to unionize, and the managers like convinced him that like unions were bad, so he became like anti-union and like basically fought against his own interests. And he got injured like one or two more times, and one of the times he got there was train tracks that ran through. Mm-hmm. He got hit by a train while on the job, and so this guy is like completely broken. He can't breathe right or whatever, and they end up like getting rid of him and not covering any of his medical expenses.
Wow.
He just goes on disability. Yeah, a lot of stories like that.
Too many stories like that.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm going to jump a little bit back in the film, but when Erin goes to Marg's house and is telling her, this is not Chrome 3, this is Chrome 6.
Yeah.
And but they wouldn't lie to us. They wouldn't.
The doctors
watching
the
wheels turn in her head, and she's freaking out, and finally she realizes that her daughters are in their pool.
Yeah.
And makes them get out of the pool right away.
Yeah.
Like they're just waiting in chemical.
Yeah. Well, and that click moment for her is when she's like, yeah, but the doctor said it had nothing to do with it. And she's like, yeah, but the doctors were paid by PG&E. And that's like, you see it in her eyes, like this change.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty great.
Yeah.
And the waiting in the pool thing, it reminds me of like later in the movie when the PG&E lawyer's there, and she's like, oh, we had that water brought in from Hinkley. Hinkley. Which I think is pretty great.
I love that. I love that part. Yeah, we got that water brought in special for you from Hinkley.
Yeah, fear of Jesus Christ, Alexis. The fear of water is interesting.
Yes.
So.
And the character that Cherry Jones plays, she's the woman who like wrote the letter.
Oh yeah. I like her.
I do too. And she, every different family experienced different horrors.
Mm-hmm.
And she didn't initially want to meet with Erin.
Yeah.
Because she had this idea of what they were just trying to take from them.
Yeah.
Instead of trying to help. And because Erin is such a good, personable person,
yeah,
she was able to show her that there was more to it. Like, we're doing this for you. Like, she slowly opened up.
Well,
the film.
I think the key was her kids, right? She shows up with her kids, and that's when she lets her in. And I think that she can identify with having the children, and she sees that Erin's not a rich person. Because a rich person wouldn't have to tow their kids around on the job. And I think, to your point, that she's more like them than she is like the lawyers that she thinks that she's thinking about.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And the way that Erin constantly stands up for these people, and when it becomes... So they originally wanted to have a jury,
mm-hmm.
and then it changed to... What did it change to?
An arbitration, so the judge would decide.
Right. And I love how Erin goes, I don't know what that means. That doesn't make any sense to me. It's definitely not going to make any sense to them.
Yeah.
And it didn't.
It doesn't, yeah.
And it infuriated them.
Yeah.
Because sometimes you need to explain things in layman's terms.
Yeah. Which Ed does a good job of.
Yeah.
In the town hall.
In that town hall, it was really fantastic. If only... people could just have that sort of patience and understanding that not everyone has the same vocabulary.
Yeah, I do sort of wonder if today people would respond the same way that they do to Ed in that town hall, and that's that they come back to the table, right?
Oh.
He goes, some of these people don't have that long to wait, and I think there's this like, we're a village, we're family, and I wonder if everybody would come back to the table the way they did nowadays, because it's 35 years later, and because this took place in 90,
right?
So I wonder. People, have some empathy.
Yeah. My next note is not about the film.
It's weird.
But the whole time watching this, I just really wanted to trim Albert Finney's eyebrows. They're so aggressive.
Yeah.
They're like 5 of my eyebrows.
It's perfect for the character, though.
Yes. Totally.
Yeah.
I still want to trim them.
Yeah, okay.
They were just a little too...
You'll never have the opportunity.
I know. Oh, I won't.
Rest in peace, Albert Finney.
Oh gosh, I wrote, they really are so lucky that this one worker didn't shred the incriminating paperwork.
Yeah, that he kept it. I wasn't a very good employee.
I love that.
Yeah.
He wasn't. Good.
Yeah.
Good. When she brings George to Mark's house to tell her how much money she's going to get.
Yeah.
And this is, I'm gonna guess this was like probably 91 or 92 because it had taken a long time.
Yeah.
She gets, well, their family is allotted $5 million.
Yeah.
And that's just, she goes, I don't even know how much money that is.
Yeah. What a great line.
Which I totally get. When I was in middle school, we had to do $1 million project.
Yeah.
Where we had to spend $1 million. And you had to spend every little bit. And it took forever because it was hard to get up to that amount of money.
Yeah.
Now it's like very simple.
Yeah. Can't even buy a house for $1 million in LA.
Nope. Unless it's a rural fixer-upper.
Yeah.
It just was beautiful.
Yeah.
And I loved that bringing him with her showed, like, this is what I was doing it for.
Yeah.
To, like, just drive it home that she was never doing this for herself.
Yeah. No, I agree.
And I wrote $2 million bonus. Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Her reaction. You could tell that he was trying to fuck with her.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure.
Like, I didn't think it was appropriate. And she's like, I want to know what she actually asked for. It was probably like $250,000 or something.
Yeah, maybe.
It was I told you at the beginning before we watched it that I was gonna weep, and I did.
Yeah. I didn't hear you though. You weren't like sobbing or anything.
No. I didn't think I was gonna sob. I knew I was gonna have like little weepy eyes and tears. I had little tears.
Hey, Helper, can you tell me what Erin Brokovich is up to now? Because I have a note, but it's from 2003, so that's like 20 years ago. So
that was so long ago. It's kind of weird.
As of 2016, she still lives in Agora Hills.
She lives in Agora Hills.
In the house that she bought in 96 with her bonus.
In the house she bought in 96 with her bonus.
So I mean, she didn't get a bonus till 96. So that's how long that process took.
I think it was like 93-ish, which she didn't, maybe didn't.
Oh, okay.
So it ended at, like, the case was closed in 93, but she didn't buy her house until 96.
Okay.
Well, it might have taken them time to, like, pay out the settlement.
Yeah.
And, like,
it takes time to pay out that settlement. Yeah.
All that shit takes time. Let's see. She also did a bunch more stuff after. I mean, she worked on that Kettleman case that they mentioned.
She worked on more cases. Well, so as of 2003, that's the note I have. She was still with the law firm, and her title was Director of Research.
Wow. How fun would that be? Sorry, I love learning and researching stuff. So, like, to just have the job of, I am the researcher.
Yeah.
I know that a lot of what she did was not fun.
Not fun, Law stuff is generally...
She was on a case against the Beverly Hills Unified School District.
She did a case against the Beverly Hills Unified School District?
Yeah, because they had oil wells on campus.
Oil wells? Sorry.
I don't want to go over too many cases up. Yeah.
No, it's just the other one that, like...
I was just more curious if she was still with the law firm.
I'm not sure.
Not sure. Okay. In the movie, Ed kind of, when he sort of fights back against her for the first time in that little courtyard, And he mentions, now we have fighter jets flying above us, or old 1955 warplanes. He mentions that all these problems that he's had, including diabetes. The real Ed Masry dies from complications from diabetes in real life.
Oh.
So, yeah. I don't know it.
Wow.
Yeah.
She still works on cases.
Okay. She still works on cases to date. Okay.
Amazing.
That's all I have. Do you have anything else?
No.
Would you recommend this movie?
I would.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
And did you like this movie?
I did.
Yeah, me too.
And
Yeah.
you know what this movie does? It
It
passes the Bechdel test.
It does pass the Bechdel test.
Because there are multiple times where women are talking to each other, not about another man.
Yeah.
And that made me happy.
I don't know. I don't know the details of the Bechdel test. I wonder if the corporation counts, because they only talk about the corporation, right? They don't talk about like their lives as women, which I think is supposed to be the intention of the Bechdel test. But as far as our limited understanding of it, I think you're right. It does pass.
The Bechdel test is a simple 3-part measure of how women are represented in fiction.
Yeah.
So first, at least 2 women. So the work must feature at least 2 female characters.
Check.
Conversation. The 2 female characters must have a conversation with each other.
Check.
Happens. Not about a man. The conversation must not be about a man. And
that's what my question is. Is P&G a substitute for a man, right? Like represented by men, run by men, decisions being made by men. Like, is this in the spirit of the Bechdel test? And I don't know. But I think based off of like that, I think it's a philosophical question is all I'm saying.
Yeah.
She technically has a conversation with her neighbor.
She has a conversation with her neighbor about her children.
About the neighbors moving and the neighbor's kids and her kids.
That's true.
She talks to
right, but if at any point in the movie women talk about a man, then it fails.
No.
Right?
No, it's the fact that there are women.
They can have one.
There are women who have a conversation that is not about a man.
Yeah, I don't know though. Like,
but Wes, you would be surprised how many movies don't pass the Bechdel test.
No, I think you're wrong. That I have a full understanding of how many movies don't pass the Bechdel test. I totally get it. My point is that the point of the Bechdel test is to demonstrate that point, and to quote unquote pass the Bechdel test. Like, I don't think 2 women having a conversation about nonsense is in the spirit of it, right? Hold on. And I think while a conversation about a woman having to move is not nonsense, I also don't think it's anything of substance to further the cause of women's rights in film. I want to see a movie where 2 women talk about something really important, integral to the, integral to who they are as people and the plot, and for it to be something of substance, not, and I don't know. And again, I like the PG&E thing. I think is philosophical. I think if the argument is that PG&E does not represent a man, I think you're right. I think it passes the Bechdel test because there's lots of talk about PG&E. But this isn't like women sharing their lives, because the conversation isn't about their lives. The conversation is about PG&E, so, well, but their husbands and their children, you know what I mean? Like
at work, the women discuss their jobs.
They do?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
And that one
They
woman,
do?
Yeah.
In this movie?
Yeah. That one woman is explaining to Erin what her job is and shows her around.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
Conchata Farrell.
Also,
it's like,
you
weren't doing your job.
I wouldn't really suggest that that's really furthering women's rights in film either, though, because it's like women judging women. But I get what you're saying.
Okay.
Yeah. I just want to see like a more positive, like I don't know. Like what? Like I guess that's like, what's the point of it? You know, what's the point of the Bechdel test if it's not doing something to be more progressive?
I don't know.
Yeah. So that's the question.
Okay.
Philosophical, more than anything else. I mean, the Bechdel test is a philosophical thing, anyways.
Yes.
I think there are a lot of feminists don't like the Bechdel test because it's not detailed enough to actually like mean anything. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. That's what I hear. This is what I hear. Oh. Don't come at me.
I would recommend this to other people.
I would too.
Yeah.
We already said that.
I know. Well, no, we said, do you like this movie?
Oh, didn't we say would you recommend it? That was the first thing I asked, and then I asked if you like it. Yeah.
Well,
I asked them out of order. All right. I am a mystery. Sometimes I'm going to ask stuff out of order. Like I didn't ask at the beginning of the episode.
speaking of this episode,
yeah,
you're likely listening to us on one of your special podcasty listening locations. But if you want more, if you want to know more and see more, we're also on Instagram.
Mm.
We're on TikTok.
Mm-hmm.
We're
sort of on Threads.
You can follow us. You can become a member on, what's it called? Patreon.
Yeah.
And we have a free tier.
Mm-hmm.
If you just want to support by saying, hooray, let's go. If you want to support us monetarily, there are higher tiers, which that's super sweet. Thanks for joining us in a higher tier. We have community watch days where we watch movies together.
Mm-hmm.
Not just Wes and I, like we'll watch it with you.
Yeah.
There are so many other things.
You can vote on polls.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. We have given away a movie on the Patreon once.
Yeah.
Yeah. It happens.
So you can find us in those different locations.
Mm-hmm.
Please. And thank you.
Do you want to draw a movie?
Oh my gosh.
Were you going to forget?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Me too. I remembered at the last second. I remembered why you were doing the Patreon thing. I was like, oh, we got to draw a movie. What's our next movie, Alexis?
Oh my gosh.
Please. Oh my God. Okay.
I don't know anything about it.
Al Pacino, I believe.
Now watch a movie. Another movie. Serpico.
I think it's like a gritty pop film from the 70s.
Oh.
Maybe 80s. I'm not sure.
Fun. All right.
I've never seen it, so we're both in for a treat.
Yay.
Yay.
Fun times.
All right, everyone. Until next time, bon cinema.